Welcome to E39 Source. I'm Ryan Schultz from the Ryan Knows Tech channel. We're going to be taking a look today at an E39 5 Series. This is a, as you probably know by now, February of 2000 production model. And we're going to be doing a bit of a pain in the ass job today. That's going to be removing the glove box and replacing the glove box strut. I've actually already taken my old strut out, if you're unfamiliar with these cars. By the way, this should work. I'm guessing that the E38 7 Series, the E46 3 Series, and the E53 5 or X5 Series are very similar in the way it's put together and constructed. I don't know, I've never owned any of those cars, but I'm hoping you can get at least some hints from this DIY of how that would go. Anyways, I've already taken my old strut out, and as you can see, I did a bang-up job installing the glove box and the latch and everything on here. But I do plan on fixing that today. I just didn't screw the latch in up here because I know that I'm going to be removing it. I'm going to apologize up front for the camera work. I do not have a tripod. I do not have any other light than that, and that is my iPhone light. So I know there's nothing out there right now, so this is going to be better than anything else you find for now. So please bear with me. But over here, there's a strap that clips onto a peg on the glove box, and the other end, we'll go ahead and turn on that light, is up in here. That's the strap that keeps the glove box from going too far down. As you can see, mine's flopping all over the place right now because the strut broke, so I removed it. There's the peg it goes onto there, and up there about 74 feet is the other peg. And I'm going to be honest, this is not easy to do, mainly because of the position you have to be in here. I have my seat, the front passenger seat, all the way back and all the way down, and it's not going to get any easier than that. I still end up laying on the door sill on my back. It's not a fun job. I have already disconnected this light here because the way that I had it, I couldn't actually close the glove box correctly, so the light was on the whole time. So I just went ahead, got a knife actually, and there's a little prying area right. If I can find my finger right there, you pry it out, and then it's just a cable on this side of the light that gives the light power. And then over here, we'll go back to the iPhone light, there is a switch right here. Where am I? I'm trying to find myself on camera right there. There's the switch that when the glove box closes, presses that switch in and kills the power to that light. So that's how that system works. This instructional video is going to incorporate a couple of different purposes here. One is going to be removing the glove box from the car and gaining access to like the headlight aiming leveling module, which is behind there. There's a whole bunch of other electrical stuff back there. The main purpose for me, at least, is replacing that glove box strut, which I have actually already purchased online. I talked to BMW and they want $18 for the part, which isn't bad. I found it on eBay for $14. So I got that. I'll throw the part number down there below if you're looking to fix yours. Here's what they look like. I think my new one's on the left. There's a couple marks on it, so it may not be brand new, but it is a genuine BMW part. We'll see if we can get in and focus on the part number, which is here. It looks like 5116-8235-256. That's what it looks like. There's my old one, which I have temporarily fixed, but it won't last, and that's why I'm replacing it. This strut, this end up here, goes up inside the car where we have to take everything apart to get to. This end clips on the glove box, goes over a peg, and then there's a clip, and it pulls it down slowly. When you open it, it releases it slowly so it doesn't bounce around like that. Those are the two purposes for this video. Tools. We're going to need a bunch of different screwdriver sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my one-size-fits-all screwdriver, and wherever I can find the heads, I'll probably use that knife blade to pull that light out of there because it's a little more gentle and thinner than a screwdriver. And there are my bits for the screws. And we also need a 10mm socket and wrench for that, which I believe I actually left in the car. I haven't been using my glove box, so all my stuff's in the door pockets. Alright, we need to start down here in the footwell on the passenger side. Up top, behind the glove box, as I said, it's hard for me to film down here, so please bear with me. There's this plate that actually isn't held in by anything but giving it a push. So, do what we did last time. This is hard to do with one hand. Oh, that actually worked really well. Put your finger right inside that lip, pull it towards you an inch, and as you can see, there's a clip there, and a clip there, and then two things in the back that slide over right there. That pops that off. Take that out of the car, get it out of the way, giving you those two 10mm bolts. This is the actual hinge for the glove box. When you drop this out, it's pretty much going to fall off in your hands. So we need to take a look in here now to remove the strap and the strut, providing you have both of these already in the car. This one's pretty easy right here. There's a clip on it, you get a knife blade under that, pop it off, pull it towards you, and then slide the strap off that peg. Over on the left side, it's the same idea. There's another piece on the end there that you're going to want to slide off. Pull the strut off, providing yours is there, and then that's going to free it up top. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and close it, come down here, remove those two bolts, and it's kind of going to, the hardware there is a bit of a hand that clips over this rod here. So take those bolts out, you'll see how it works, pretty simple. Those bolts have been taken off on both sides. I did this with the glove box closed, the strut disconnected, as well as the strap disconnected, and as you can see, it now is completely loose aside from a few wires. Be very careful you don't drop it down and break your wires. There's the wire going over there. As you can see, it's that purple and brown one. That connects into the back of the power outlet here, or the charger for the flashlight. So we need to pull that out real quick. That pulls out of the back of the glove box really easily. There's two clips on each side. Just squeeze those together and pull up. Don't pull on the wires, that would be bad. There's the actual glove box, as well as the plate that we took off first, sitting on my driveway. So now we've got a hole to work with, and this is actually a lot easier of a way that I went with this time than when I took it apart, because the last thing I did was take the glove box off, and that was stupid. But now we have, if you're going to work on the strut, actually, if you're just looking to take the glove box off, you're done. And there's what you probably want to see. One of those is the light control module. It could be this really big one, or I don't really know much about what's under here, but that's what it looks like. So that may be all you need to see. If you're going for the strut, you want to replace the strut. There's about 50,000 screws that we now need to take out. And I think we're going to start with this plate here. It's just 2 Phillips. I'm going to put a bit in the end of my screwdriver, probably go with the PH1 or 2 bit, and take those out. This is going to take that plate off, and then we need to start work up here, which is where it gets more fun. And as you can see, I'm just leaving that that cable for the glove box hanging there. There's no need to take it out up top. That part actually comes off really easily. There's just those 2 screws right there. Go ahead and set that piece aside, and now that leaves us with the top part, which isn't a lot of fun, if I'm honest. We've got a bunch of screws to start with. There are actually 3 up top. They're all Phillips, 1, 2, and there's number 1. The middle one is kind of a different size. It has a different washer on it, so make sure you remember that. Your fuse box is up here. I actually found it easier for some of it. If you go ahead and drop that down, turn these 2 white pegs, and it comes down like this. And I believe there's a screw there that I screwed up. I'm going to fix that. And then there's another screw over here that you will have to remove. Let's see, right there. So let's go ahead and pull some screws out. We've got 3 up top, 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Notice in the back, these screws are made of plastic. Be very careful not to strip them, as I kind of have. There are 2 screws there as well, and those they look like washers. They're not. They're clips that fit in there. Get a flathead behind that, pry them. With all of those screws out, it's going to be a matter of pulling this entire roof or ceiling, if you will, of the glove box down a couple inches and then back. If you look over here, it is sandwiched above the trim, the actual whole trim piece under the wood or aluminum trim that you have. It's sandwiched in between that and more parts of the car. So you have to pull it down and back and make sure that you reach in those 2 little holes there and take the 2 holes out. There's 2 screws out that hold your glove box latch in, where the latch goes up and latches into the top of the car. So you'll need to take that out. I went ahead and took my light out already, just so we're not wasting power and making heat down here. It's not a very bright light anyways. And it's going to take some working with, but you'll be able to pull this down, back a few inches, and eventually out altogether, yielding the part we need for the strut replacement. In the top left in here, there's this little hole. That's where the switch was I was showing you before, which is right here. If you get a knife or a flathead in there, you pry that down. There's just enough wire before you remove this top part that you can disconnect the wire from the switch that turns the light off and on when you open the glove box. You're going to want to take that out so you don't damage the wiring when trying to remove this top piece in here. Alright, a little bit of fidgeting later. We got that top piece down. You may want to clean in here depending on how picky you are. It's just dust after 12 years. There's your fuses. You're not going to be able to take this down because those are all the wires that go to the fuses. This is your latch that you took down. When you put it back, make sure the open end faces the engine, the front of the car, and the closed end is that way. I made that mistake before and I couldn't make it latch right. So for reinstallation, there's a note to remember, or just be careful when you take it out. Now that we have this piece down, if we come over here, apologizing again for the poor camera work, there is that pin. You probably already had to remove your old strut. That's where the new strut is going to go. Go ahead and attach your new strut up there over the peg, making sure that the skinny side is downwards like that and the fat end with this actual cylinder is up top. Then go ahead and put the clip back on over it so it doesn't slide off. Now it's a matter of reinstalling this top part. Keep in mind that you need to stick through the wire for your glove box light as well as the wire for the switch that turns the light off when you close the box. So I'm going to start working on that. It's reverse installation. This piece here in the front, that lip, needs to sandwich up here. You know how fun it was getting it out? It's even better putting it back in. Before you screw everything down, make sure that you get your wire out for that. Hook it up. As you can see, I hooked my light up just to make sure that that works, and indeed it does. So I've got the strut visible here. I didn't knock any brackets out for the screws. I'm going to go ahead and put those grommets in back there and get everything buttoned up again as far as this top part goes. Tired of trying to sandwich that piece up in between the trim? I actually removed the aluminum piece of trim from here. It's really easy. Get some fingers under it here. Very carefully pry it outwards. There's 4 clips that pegs fit inside those holes and clip it in. If you're careful, that'll come out super easily. There are 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. They're brass. Then there's a black one there. Back those out. That'll give you a little bit of play to where you can pull the trim down and sandwich that piece up in there a little better. With all of the screws back in, I can see the strut hanging down there. We're ready to reinstall the glove box. The first thing I do is pick the glove box up, plug that wire in the back of the flashlight connector, and then get these things kind of put on there. Put them on there a little bit, don't torque them down at all, because we're going to have to make sure the fitment's right, kind of close it a couple times, get everything lined up before we tighten them down and get the glove box secured by those hinges. Then we'll move on, secure the glove box strut over there, as well as the strap on the right with those clips we used before. Reinstalling all of the parts was actually really easy. Once you get everything inside done, get everything hooked up on the right and left sides. I actually broke one of those clips, so I'm going to have to replace that on this side. Hook everything up how it was, make sure your connections are good up there, make sure all your screws go back in. My job was a complete success. This is back to OEM quality, OEM spec. Did a really nice job on this. As you can see, it comes down nice and gently thanks to my new strut over here. You can see that it is put on there right, using the right washer. And the last clip I filmed, I forgot to put that trim on, so I got that right here. This piece of trim on, and this is back on as well. So hopefully that video helped you out. That is how you remove a glove box or replace a glove box strut in an E39 5 Series. Thanks so much for watching. Leave me some comments, subscribe, give me some feedback, and I'll talk to you in a later video. You can see how long this took me. It is pretty dark out here now, but I'm glad I got that fixed. That was starting to piss me off about this car. Again, thanks, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.